So ask yourself now, what's blocking you from changing that thing, from achieving what you want to achieve, from transforming the way that you want to transform? What's blocking you from that? The true block is inside. So ask yourself, what is that block inside of you that's preventing you from getting there? Your behaviors are just a symptom of something underlying. Behind our behaviors, there's something that's causing those behaviors. So what's shaping the way that we think? It's usually the way that we feel. You can call that our feelings, or I like to call that our inner state, the state that we're in. What if you could transform your emotions from blocks into superpowers? That's what's possible to do. And that's the power of your emotions. But what if you could transform your emotions so that not only they stop blocking you from moving, but they are actually the very thing pushing you and making you move in the right direction with all the energy and power.
Welcome back to Talk the Walk, where we explore how to walk your journey of healing, growth, and transformation with more success, ease, and joy.
What if there was one thing in your life that if you could improve that, you would improve every area of your life? What if there was one thing that would have an impact on your relationship, on your physical health and fitness, on your mental well-being, on your habits and goals, on your productivity and finances, on your personal development, your purpose, your spirituality? What if there was one thing that would have an impact on all of these? And if this one thing is out of balance, then you have negative health impacts, your relationships become unhealthy or strained, you have negative consequences in your career, business, or finances, your mental health decreases, you build unhealthy habits and you are unable to achieve your goals, and your personal development stagnates, you have a lack of purpose, and you are disconnected from your spirituality. But if this thing was balanced and aligned, then the opposite would happen and you would get inner balance and peace. You would get happier and healthier relationships. You'd get a high self-esteem and self-confidence, improved focus and clarity, improved physical health, and just having that feeling of waking up every day, feeling excited and aligned each day, thriving in all areas of your life with purpose and satisfaction. How would that feel like? And if there was such a thing, do you think it would be worth it for you to learn how to balance that? How to make that thing balanced so that it helps you live the second life and not the first one? Well, that one thing exists, and what could it be? No, it's not snake's oil. It's actually something that exists inside of you, not outside of you, and that is your emotions. And this is something that I'm not saying just out of my mouth. This is something that I've experienced in my own life, and since I have started working, teaching people how to do the same, I have witnessed students and clients achieve exactly the same in their life, where just by learning how to master and balance their emotions, they transform not only the thing that they wanted to transform in their life, but also every other area of your life improves in almost miraculous ways. And so today I want to talk to you about this, about the importance and the power of emotions and why you would find it useful to learn how to do the same. So I want to ask you, what's like the number one thing that you most want to achieve in your life right now? The most important transformation that you want to achieve in your life, whether that is inside of you or outside of you. Another way of asking this is, what's the thing that if it would change in your life, it would make it 20%, 50%, 100% more enjoyable? What is that one thing? Think about it. And believe in that, because you have potential. You know that. You have that potential. If you are here, you know that you're meant for so much more. So ask yourself now, what's blocking you from changing that thing, from achieving what you want to achieve, from transforming the way that you want to transform? What's blocking you from that? And sometimes your first answer might tend to be about some external condition, like like a situation or a person or some event happening outside you. But blaming it onto external conditions makes you powerless. Or even worse, it makes you want to try to control the world outside you, which usually doesn't work, as we all know that. But the problem is, if you actually think about it, even if you were to change everything in your life outside of you, somehow you still eventually end up with the same problems again. And maybe you have tried that before. Maybe you have tried to change cities, your boyfriend or girlfriend, jobs, this, that. But eventually the same problems find you again. So what's happening? It's like your problems are following you. Or could it be that your problems are you? This is the key here. And maybe if you're listening to this, you already know this, right? You already know that the reason why the external blocks and situations exist and are blocking you, it's actually because of how they impact you and because of how you respond to them. Which means that the real blocks are inside. And there's an interesting quote by Young Pueblo where he says that you can change your location, you can meet new people and still have the same old problems. To truly change your life, you need to look inward, get to know and love yourself, and heal the trauma and dense conditioning in your mind. And this is how you get to the root. And this is exactly what we're talking about. So whatever you find that's blocking you from achieving that goal, from achieving that transformation that you want to achieve, and living that more enjoyable life, the true block is inside. So ask yourself, what is that block inside of you that's preventing you from getting there? I'm going to just share with you a list of all the inner blocks that I've seen myself and my students and clients have. So from stress and overwhelm or burnout to overthinking to anxiety or depression or any other mental condition, OCD, PTSD. Maybe it's just your impulsive and reactive behaviors. Maybe it's a lack of self-control. Maybe it's just like bad choices with what you do, what you say, how you spend your time, how you spend your money. And of course, self-sabotage. Maybe there's that self-sabotage that's blocking you from getting where you want to go. Maybe that's that procrastination where you're not actually doing the things you need to do to get there. Maybe it's perfectionism, or maybe it's low self-esteem, low self-confidence. Maybe you have a very strong inner critic, self-criticism all the time, self-doubt. Maybe you have that imposter syndrome, or maybe you're a people pleaser. You're people pleasing all the time. Maybe you're avoiding conflict, and because of that, you're avoiding doing what it's really important for you. Maybe you just cannot communicate properly, accurately, in a way that creates cooperation and understanding. Maybe you're easily triggered, everything triggers you. Maybe people tell you you're too emotional. Or maybe you're the opposite, you cannot feel emotions. You're disconnected from your emotions, you're feeling too little, you're disconnected. Maybe you're you're avoidant in relationships. Or maybe you're too dependent. Maybe you have a fear of failure, fear of rejection, or the opposite. Maybe you have a fear of success, a fear of visibility. Maybe you have some addiction or harmful habit, or the list goes on and on. So, what is it for you? What's the thing inside of you, the inner block, that is blocking you? What is it truly blocking you from achieving the thing that you want to achieve? And when you start thinking about it, you can start to see that if you want to change and improve your life, you must change and improve yourself first. Now, is that possible? Yes, we can change inside ourselves, but it's not easy. It's hard, actually, and most people try and fail that. And here's why. Because they don't know how to properly transform themselves inside themselves, and they don't know what the root cause of their patterns really is. So, the way that people usually try to transform themselves is they're like, okay, so I want to change my reality, and the way that I'm impacting my reality is through my behavior. So I need to change my behavior. I need to change what I do. And that makes sense, that's true. And the problem is if you try to change your behavior just like that, you probably found out that it doesn't work that well. It's hard. It's like you're fighting yourself and it doesn't last. So you might have tried using willpower, using some form of conditioning or habit tracking. And that usually doesn't work so well, because the truth is your behaviors are not the root cause. Your behaviors are just a symptom of something underlying. Behind your behaviors, there's something that's causing those behaviors. So if you try to change your behaviors without addressing what's causing those behaviors, you're just addressing the symptoms. And that's why it's never going to work. It's like trying to cure a cold by not coughing. Okay, think about it. Like, you have a cold, you want to cure the cold, and so you're going to try to not cough to cure the cold, right? It doesn't work, because coughing is a symptom, not the cause. So it's not going to work. You're probably not even going to be able to stop coughing, or you're just really going to feel very uncomfortable trying to not cough. You need to heal at the deeper root cause. So what's the deeper root cause? What's behind your behaviors? That's the question that we need to ask. Behind your behaviors, if you think about it, what usually is driving your behaviors is very often whatever's going on in your mind, right? The thoughts that are driving those behaviors. And so people often realize that, oh, behind my behaviors, there's my thoughts, my mindset, how I'm thinking about reality, the stories that I'm telling myself. And that is true. That is very true. So people go and try to change their thoughts. And they try to do this mindset work, affirmations, even some form of therapy, like typical talk therapy or cognitive behavior therapy. They try to change the way that they're thinking. They try to change their mindset. And that is a little bit more powerful than changing your behavior. But if you've tried that, you probably still have found out that it's hard and it doesn't work to the depth that you need it to work, and it doesn't last. And that's because your thoughts, they are still also just a symptom. They're deeper than the behavior, but they're still just a symptom. There's still something causing your thoughts. Your thoughts are not the root cause. There's something that's causing those thoughts to come up and those stories. So we need to go one level deeper here. And this next level is a level that many people don't know about, although we're starting to see that happen more and more, and more modalities and more programs are starting to go there, which is beautiful. So what's shaping the way that we think? It's usually the way that we feel. You can call that our feelings, or I like to call that our inner state, the state that we're in, our nervous system, our bodies, our minds. It's the state, how we're feeling. And that can be like feeling activated, stressed, anxious, or feeling calm, peaceful, or maybe feeling sad or low energy, or maybe feeling positive or feeling negative. So all these ways that we can feel that our inner state can be in high energy, low energy, positive, negative, focused, unfocused, connected, not connected. It can and it does affect the way we think and very much our behaviors. So if we want to achieve deeper transformation, we need to also work deeper on the deeper level of your state, of your feelings, of how your body and mind feels. And so when people realize this, which is not common, but hopefully, happily, it is happening more, we start to do deeper work on the level of the state. And that's where like somatic work, somatic practices and experiencing come in, breath work, some forms of visualization and altered state, some form of meditation as well can come. And they're very powerful because they allow you to change your state, and that has a very powerful effect in changing your thoughts and your behavior and therefore your reality. And if you've tried that, you've probably felt a strong transformation in your life already. However, if you've tried that, you probably still feel that there's still something missing, because it doesn't feel like the full transformation, doesn't feel like something like a breakthrough has happened. You still sometimes keep coming back to the old patterns, and you need to keep doing that changing your state work. And so this means that there's actually an even deeper root cause behind the state. And that's where we need to get to, the deeper root cause of all of that. What could it be? What could be creating that state and those feelings? And that is our emotions. So you might be like, Philip, wait, what's the difference between our emotions and our feelings or state? And that's a very important question. So your emotions, they are what creates those feelings, but they're not the feelings. The feelings and the state, they are created by emotions. But emotions are an internal process, usually subconscious, usually automatic, that detects your triggers in your environment and creates automatic changes in your body, in your mind, in your thoughts, and in your behaviors to try to deal with those triggers. So they are shaping that state, but they are what's creating the state, the feelings, and the thoughts and the behaviors. They're creating that, but they're not those. They are the process in your mind, in your nervous system, in your energy that is bringing that up, that is creating that. And that's why your emotions are the root cause of all of these levels that we've been talking about. And that's why working on the emotional level is what's going to change everything. So you can think of emotions as energy in motion. Actually, the word emotion comes from Latin emovere, which means to move, to push you in a direction. So their function is to push you, is to move you in all areas of your life. And this is exactly that. What they do. Your emotions move you in all areas of your life. So think about everything you have ever felt, thought, said, and done. Every choice you've ever made, your emotions were behind it. Can you start to feel the power that emotions have in your life? They're literally shaping everything you do, you say, you think, you feel. Every choice you make, it's coming from your emotions because they're the ones creating all of that. I hope this helps you start to see the power that they have in your life, and also that it's actually your emotions are what's shaping your life and your reality in all its areas, from relationships to work, finances, career, health, habits, spirituality, goals, everything. Because everything that you do in life, every choice that you make, is coming from your emotions. And this means that your emotions are the single most important and powerful and impactful thing in your life and all its areas. All its areas. This means that if you want to transform anything in your life, you need to learn how to transform your emotions to be able to really transform that thing in an effective, real, deep, lasting way. So that's cool, but what's even cooler is that once you do learn how to transform your emotions, then everything else in life you become able to transform as well. Every other area of your life. So it's like, think about it. If right now you have a problem that you want to transform, something that you want to transform inside yourself or outside yourself, and what I'm telling you is, if you want to transform that effectively, you need to learn how to transform your emotions. But the real cool thing is that if you learn how to transform your emotions, you will not only be able to transform that one specific area, you'll be able to transform and improve every area of your life, because your emotions are behind every area of your life. And even areas of your life that you're not currently thinking about, even areas of your life that you're not even trying to improve, they will naturally improve because of that. So can you see how, like, learning how to transform your emotions is the most impactful, like the most powerful investment of your time and energy that you can make in your life? If your goal is to live a happy, meaningful, fulfilled, connected life, joyful life, and achieve your goals, whatever goals you have for your life in whatever area, can you see how learning how to master and transform your emotions is the single most impactful thing that you can do there? The most powerful investment that you can make with returns for the rest of your life. There aren't many investments like this, with returns for the rest of your life in every area of your life. Can you see that? And this is the power of emotions. So you might ask now, okay, beautiful, but how do I do that? How do I transform my emotions? And if my emotions are actually blocking me from what I want, then should I just try to get rid of them? Should I just try to eliminate those emotions? And I want you to think of this. In fact, if emotions are so problematic, right, if they're the thing blocking you, then why not get rid of them? Why not just eliminate them? So I would like you to imagine your life without any emotions. Think about right now, pause this video or this podcast and imagine how your life would look like without any emotions. And probably when I ask people how it would be like, they start saying things like, life would be empty, meaningless, blank, just flat, just nothing interested, or I would die. So that's very important to see. I really love this quote from Paul Gilbert where he says, think what life would be like without emotions. You would have no feelings if you achieved your goals or if your house was knocked down. You would not be stirred by seeing your children do well or die. Nothing would really matter. Life would be meaningless. That's exactly it. So, on one hand, your emotions might be blocking you, but on the other hand, you don't want to get rid of them because actually your emotions have a vital functions. Without emotions, you would be dead. Not just like figuratively dead, but literally physically dead because they are designed to help you survive. So, eliminating emotions would be harmful to you. That's not what you want to do. So, what do you want to do? What do you want to do with your emotions? Well, you can cope, but who wants to just cope? Coping means like trying to function despite the emotion, despite your emotional blocks, doing your best to live with them, but still staying stuck in them. And who wants that? If you're here because what you probably want is you want to thrive. I want to thrive, and you probably want to thrive as well. What is thriving? Thriving is living with purpose, with love, with joy, with connection, with growth, with abundance, with authenticity, with courage. Thriving is living to your potential. And that's exactly why I think you're here, because you want to live to your potential. Not only in one area of your life, but all areas of your life. And you feel blocked. Something is blocking you. And now you know that your emotions are the blocks. But what if you could not only cope with those emotional blocks so that they stop hindering you? What if you could actually turn your emotions into the very thing that would help you achieve those goals? What if you could transform your emotions from blocks into superpowers? That's what's possible to do. And that's the power of your emotions. Because remember, your emotions, they're the thing that's directing your energy in all areas of your life. They're the thing that's making you move in all areas of your life. And the problem right now is that the way that your emotions are making you move is keeping you stuck. It's kind of paradoxical, but the way that they're making you move is keeping you stuck. They're blocking you from moving. That's how they're moving your energy. At least in that part of your life that you want to grow and achieve and get into your next level. But what if you could transform your emotions so that not only they stop blocking you from moving, but they are actually the very thing pushing you and making you move in the right direction with all the energy and power that you need to achieve that? What if your emotions could not only stop blocking you, stop being blocks, but actually become your superpowers that thanks to them, you achieve everything you want? And this is possible if you learn how to do that. And how do you do that? So think about it. In one way, on one hand, we do not want our emotions to run rampant and control our lives and block us. But on the other hand, we also don't want to eliminate them. So that means that what we need is a balance. We need emotional balance. And emotional balance just means that your emotions are working for you instead of against you. Your emotions have a role to fulfill. Their role is to move you and move your energy. But this just means that the way that they're making you move and making your energy move is aligned with your highest goals and purpose and not blocking you from a place of fears and trauma. This is what emotional balance means, that your emotions are working for you instead of against you. And this means that if you can get your emotions to work in that way, you can achieve anything you want faster, easily, and almost without even thinking about it. Because your emotions are just pushing you in the right direction. And this is the power of emotions. So when you have unbalanced emotions, when they are out of balance, they are making you move in a way that blocks you and harms you. So they become your biggest blocks to anything that you want to achieve. They keep you stuck in negative patterns and even cause you pain and suffering. But when you learn how to balance your emotions, when you learn how to align them and master them so they are aligned with your deepest aspirations and potential and they're making you move in the right way, then if you learn how to do that, not only will they stop blocking you and harming you, they will literally become your superpowers. They will literally contribute to your well-being and help you achieve anything you want fast, easily, and with great success. As I said, sometimes even without thinking about it, because your emotions are just making you move. And this is the power of emotions. This is the power of emotional balance. And for any one of you who is here because you're trying to transform your life, transform yourself, this is the right way to do it. So the old way that you're trying to do, through willpower or through mindset or even through changing your state, it's harsh, difficult, and ineffective because you're not working on the root cause, which is emotions. You're kind of fighting against them, or at least not regarding them. So it's like, imagine that your goal, like this is a metaphor, imagine that your goal is like to go in a certain direction and you have a horse, but this would be like the horse doesn't want to move. The horse doesn't want to move and you're trying to force the horse to move and you're pulling the horse, pushing the horse, trying to move up the hill. The horse doesn't want to move, so it takes a lot of energy and you can even get hurt and you're fighting and you get tired and it's not pleasant at all. That's the old way when you're trying to change without regards to your emotions, without learning how to transform, balance, and master your emotions. But the new way, it's through emotional mastery and emotional balance. And that's aligned and powerful and effective and easy and joyful because you are working with the root cause and you are aligning that. So it's becoming your superpowers. So in that horse metaphor, it will be like having a very happy and compliant horse that you can just ride down the hill or up the hill through the woods and it goes wherever you go fast, easily, and without much effort. Because you have tamed or mastered it and you're connected. And that's exactly what happens when you learn how to master and balance your emotions. So this is the power of your emotions. Your emotions affect all areas of your life. They can harm and block you in all of those areas from your goals, but they can also greatly improve all of your areas and take you higher than you ever thought possible, becoming literally your superpowers. And the key is emotional mastery. It's emotional balance. And that's what I wanted to show you today. That the most powerful and important thing that you can do in life for anything you want to achieve is to learn how to master your emotions and achieve emotional balance. So just imagine, think about what would life be like if you had emotional balance? What would be different? What would become possible for you? And what wouldn't be happening anymore? What's happening now that wouldn't be happening anymore in that case? And what would be the ripple effects? Because this will not just change your life in that specific area, it will change all areas of your life. So how would your life transform? Like in 6 months, in 1 year, how would your life be different? In 5 years and in 10 years, how would your life be different? And think also about the ripple effects, not only to you, but the people around you, your family, your friends. How would that impact them and your relationship with them? And even beyond that, how would that impact the world? How would that make the world a better place for everyone? That's what's possible when you learn how to balance and master your emotions. So this is the power of your emotions. This is how you can transform any area of your life with great effectiveness and ease. It's by learning how to master the emotions behind it. This is how you let go of self-sabotage. This is how you stop being stuck and blocked, and how you achieve anything you want faster, easier, and with more success than ever before. And most importantly, in a more enjoyable way. This is what's possible. Now the next thing to ask is, okay, but now I need to learn how to balance, how do I actually master my emotions? And this is exactly what we're going to be talking about in future episodes. And most importantly, this is exactly what we teach you inside our Emotional Mastery Academy, in our courses at starsoulschool.com. So make sure that you check them out and you join us, because we have a lot to bring you there. And thank you for listening. I hope this inspired you to really start thinking about looking into your emotions and learning to master them and balance them. And if it did, then know that we're here to help you do that. So sign up for our newsletter, sign up for our courses, and let's do this together. We are here to support you.
Thanks for listening to this episode of Talk the Walk. If you enjoyed it, like us and send it to someone who you think will like it too. We love your feedback and interaction, and you're welcome to leave us a comment or review, ask a question, or just reach out. Lastly, if today's conversation stirred something in you, remember, you don't have to walk this path alone. Our Star Soul Skill community is where these conversations continue, where you can connect with others on similar journeys and access the courses and support designed to help you integrate this work into your daily life. You will find everything at starsoulschool.com, and the link is in the show notes. See you next time.